Okay, we're going to call this meeting to order. If we could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United
flag
States of
of the
America
United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, can we do a roll call, please?
Yes. Mr. Renzi,
Present.
Ms. Drumheller,
Present.
Mr. Denise,
Present.
Ms. White,
Present.
Present.
Ms. Webster,
I'm here.
Mr. Morrow. Here. Mr. Allen.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, are there any announcements or agenda modifications? Okay, don't hear any. And has everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes from the meeting of October 23rd?
Yes.
Any modifications, or can I hear a motion?
I would like to make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, the motion has passed. Public input, there's no one present here. Is there anyone on Zoom?
Not at this time.
Okay, thank you so much. And unfinished business, we'll start with item A, our current projects.
Okay, so item A, we're finishing up the Filbert Street playground. We're waiting on mulch. We had a little inconvenience, a backlog on mulch, and we'll be getting it in hopefully the end of this week, beginning of next. So we'll be able to complete that project. The park is in place, and the playground's ready to be used as soon as we get the mulch in. And that's it for updates.
Have we, has the equipment been ordered for the Creative Playground?
They're in the process of building it. So it's a buildable component. It'll take probably till the 1st of February, middle of February, before they're done building it. Then they ship, and we expect delivery around April.
Okay, just curious how that was going. Right, so committee member park updates. Mr. Allen, you want to start?
Sure. Bryant Court it's not taken the rainy season well. The corrosion has gotten significantly worse. Mr. Van Mar and I have had a discussion about that, I believe. We have a timeline for those repairs?
Yes, I emailed you back covering those specific topics. The ant problem will be taken care of by Wednesday. We'll go in through, and we've ordered the structures. Don't know when they'll come in. We ordered them about a month ago. So when they come in, we'll put them up. In the meantime, we'll either caution off that area that you spoke of, and we're going to repair the bench as well.
Fantastic, thank you.
You're welcome.
Heritage is, I believe there's been a discussion of Heritage being perhaps pulled out of our remit. Do we have any additional discussion on that?
Which is heritage?
Historical?
Historical.
Historical.
The historical, yeah.
We have had no more discussion on that.
Okay. If we wanted to pull that out of our remit, what would that process be?
I'm really not quite sure what you're asking.
So, it's been a few months, please forgive me. But I believe in September we were talking about how it's not a park in the typical sense. There's nowhere for people to exist in that park. There's nothing to do. It is just a piece of land that the city owns. So the question was, should it be under Parks and Rec, or should someone else own that space?
I mean, technically, it is a park. Well, it's usable, it's passive at best. I know people fish in there, and, you know, they make good use of it for the locals. I do see people from time to time park in that little driveway, and then go fish, or even, they even park out back and fish. I wouldn't suggest that, but,
Maybe that's something that we can put on an agenda at the beginning of next year to talk about how to make that more park-friendly, like a couple of benches, you know, if it's gonna be counted as a park that we can use, you know, a couple of places to sit down to make it more inviting, you know, there's not really a room for equipment or anything like that, but it actually wouldn't be a bad place for a picnic table either.
It would be a beautiful place for a
Because
picnic
it's
table.
really nice there. So can we put that into our agenda for the beginning next year?
for sure, and I'll get back with you at the next meeting. I know there's a couple of minor plans in the work to create a boardwalk along the back of it. They're just not quite sure what they're gonna use, and that money will come from, impact fees from stormwater.
Okay.
And so
All right, yeah,
I'll get
so
back
that would
with
be
you on
good.
that.
We can bring that up again. Thank you.
Can I ask a
There was one
question?
more piece.
Where is the historical park? I don't know why I
So
don't know
it's
it.
a US 1 in Schuman, on the right-hand side, the church
where
is on
the-
one side, where there's
yeah.
the little fountain.
Okay, I didn't know.
So
didn't
I
know.
actually thought it was like the entrance to that little neighborhood. So, but I think that we could make that a park without too much difficulty.
Yeah.
Or at least more invitingly to use as a park.
There was also discussion of the actual bounds of the park, which particular lots are owned as part of the park and which ones are being used as easement for the railroad. So I think there's just a few lingering questions on where that space really exists.
I'll make sure I come back to you with it on the next meeting,
Appreciate it.
the boundaries and the
Thank you.
entrances and what lots we own.
Okay, and 3 for 3 for you. So Schuman Lake Park, last time we were talking about it, we were discussing that it has 2 different names. Have we resolved that?
We have, it's been changed, every time you should be able to Google it, it will say, Kildare Park and the lake,
So it's Kildare Park and Lake across the board now.
right.
Beautiful, love it. Thank you.
Mr. Renzi?
Good evening, everyone. So, Antoine, what I wanted to ask you on Riverside Park, where the cars pull up in the spaces and face the river to look out at the river, there's bushes there. They're obstructing the view. Can something be done to knock those down or replace them with something smaller or pull them out?
I think some of the ones you're talking about are mangroves,
Are they mangroves?
and they're federally protected.
Oh, I know they're heavily protected. I
Yeah,
didn't, I looked, I didn't see that they were mangroves, but if you say they are.
I'll go back down and look at it, and if it's something that can be removed, we will. I'll look at a cost as well for, maybe trimming it.
Well,
it
yeah,
has to
that-
be done by an arborist, so.
Trimming would help,
Yeah,
because
so-
I know people pull up to that area when they're having lunch or whatever. They like to look out, and you really can't see out too much anymore.
I would agree with that. I've had people ask me about those bushes, and I would say if they're not mangrove, if we could get them pulled out, or cut way down to the water level. And if they're mangrove, is it a 6-foot height, restriction on them?
Yes, ma'am, it can be trimmed to 6 feet.
Okay, I think that would be something good to look into also.
That's it for me.
Okay, Ms. Webster?
So I've been by the Hardy Park and the Barber Street baseball fields, and it all looks good to me, it's being used. Is your mic out? No, it's not, it's hot. Thank you. I've been by the ball fields and Hardy Park, and they're both looking good. I don't have anything.
Mr. Morrow?
Thank you. Main Street boat ramp and the yacht club boat ramp, nothing to report there. On the pickleball courts, I saw that seems the city was out today to make adjustments on the windscreens. That's appreciated. And I passed by there 15 minutes before coming to this meeting. Every court is in play, every light is on, the parking lot is full, so it's still gung-ho, and we need some more courts. Thank you.
Mr. Denise?
I have anything unusual. The tennis facility appears that when you go by the basketball court, there is the upkeep is quite good. There's been comments about we need to have basketball courts there, going to everything. Other than that, everything seems to be good.
I'm having a really hard time understanding what Mr. Denise is saying. He's cutting in and out.
I'm sorry. Hopefully I didn't do anything. Can you hear me better now? Oh? Can you hear?
We're only barely picking you up at all.
We're barely picking you up.
Can you hear me? Oh, okay. I'm sorry about that. I'm computer literate, so I really don't know what more to do, and I do not have any comment about anything that needs to be.
Perhaps the update could be sent in writing?
Mr. Denise, could you possibly send us a message or to Antoine about any park updates? Because your audio is very garbled and broken up.
Mr. Denise, if you could just email me with any concerns you might have, I'll be happy to take care of them.
Ms. White?
Hello. Easy Street Park, we need to have the lights checked on the walkways. Some of them are broken, but there's quite a few that aren't even there. I think what's happened is when the lights didn't work, they took them off the pad. So we need to get those lights back on there and the ones repaired that are broken. And did we have a chance to, did you have a chance about anything for a speed sign by the park?
I looked into the lights. We're missing 8 lights, and they're going to be replaced next week. They got them in yesterday, or no, Friday, sorry.
Great.
The speed limit signs, I haven't looked any farther into. We were just kind of discussing them, and you told me you would get back to me on the location.
The location can be pretty much anywhere in front of the park. Like even where my house is, I'm trying to think of the side road. If it's not Park, it's the other one next to it. But I can talk to you some more about that, but if we can get that going here, but I'll get back to you on that and we can discuss that later.
Thank you.
And that's all.
Okay, so I have Filbert Park, which I've been visiting regularly and taking pictures, and we're almost ready once the mulch is done. And Periwinkle Park is another park that's really picking up. I mean, that's just like a picnic table, and but a lot of people go there. I see a lot of folks there at lunchtime and in the morning walking their dogs. So that's really nice. And the garden park is the garden park. I actually have been seeing a whole bunch more people reading there and walking through that area also. So it looks like people are back, and we're seeing some good utilization of the recreational green spaces that we have available for folks. Right, so next we have upcoming events at Riverview.
Okay, just a quick update for this month and beginning of next. We really only have the concert in the park on the 12th of January, and then the Art Fest the 19th through the 21st. And those are the upcoming events.
Is that the big art show or the local?
It's a big
That's the
one.
big one.
It's 3
Okay.
days.
And that's the 19th?
Yes, ma'am, 19th through the 21st.
That's always a, excuse me, that's always a wonderful show. Okay. Under new business, we have the consideration for the pour-in place at the creative playground entrance.
Okay, if you will go into your agenda packet, you'll see you have two different options. Option one was coming in at $21,003.20. This covers, as you enter the park, it's for the entry area to the ramp opening and the musical panels. It's outlined below in blue. If you look at the blue section, it'll delineate exactly where that pad would go. And the pour-in place is a rubberized, cushioned, sitting on top of a concrete barrier, so it's poured in place, and it's ADA compliant. It just makes for an easier accessibility for getting in and on the structure. If you look at option two, that one comes in at $31,303. It's more inclusive. I think it's a better option. I'll leave that for you guys to make have some discussion and make a motion and vote on. That one comes in at, like I said, $31,303.75. It includes the entryway to the ramp opening, musical panels, and the swing bays. And I thought it was important to get to those swing bays. The money will probably more than likely come out of recreational impact fees.
So I have a couple of questions. I actually went there to kind of scope it out a little bit, but what is the lifespan of this pour?
This one should last minimum of 10 years.
So it's similar to how long the equipment will last before?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I personally feel that this is our big playground, and I would hate to see someone in a wheelchair not have to struggle to try to get to some of the equipment that we've put specifically for folks with special needs or to help, and to not be able to, swinging is a big deal to most kids. So I like, if we're going to do it, versus just doing a little part. I think that the lack of access could make it less enjoyable for many of the kids in the community.
Like I said, I would suggest that you open it up for, have a discussion.
Yep. So have any of you looked at this, or what do y'all think?
Well, for me, I think that we should go with option two, because I believe that the swings should be included. That's the only difference, right, is the swings are more encompassing. I think that's the right way to go.
I'm similarly inclined to option B.
I feel the same way too. All the way to the swings is a good idea.
And we're spending, I think, when at the end of the day, putting that playground together, it was like over, about $360,000?
Right. The original cost was $330,000.
Okay, yeah.
And change. With the addition of $31,000, you're right. You're up around $260,000.
Yeah, I think since it's in the cycle of getting new equipment, and really there's a lot of equipment that the kids haven't experienced there, and that's that's our big playground. I think, you know, I might be coming off as fiscally irresponsible, but I do think that full access is what we're looking for this playground, so.
I would think it's a safety issue as well.
I have a question. When we were planning this playground, how much over budget or have we designated for this? Do you know?
So the original budget was set to come in around $350,000. So at this point, we'd be about maybe $11,000, $12,000 over budget.
Do we have a mechanism and impact fees to make up that funding?
Yes, ma'am.
And this funding comes out of all the zones, right?
Right, the recreational impact fees are charged per build, and it goes into one fund.
So if we decided that we wanted to do option 2, we're not taking any funds from any of the other parks?
Not realistically. I think the money's well spent. I think it's
No, I think what it is for the new person on our group is that we have zones for different neighborhood parks that get funding. And as far as I know, this park is a park for everybody. So I think, don't we take money out of all the zones to help pay for this?
That would be correct.
You have any thoughts? You
Don't skimp, it's for the kids.
well,
Make it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if I can I make a motion? I would like to make a motion to go with option 2 for the creative playground.
Do I hear a second?
I
second.
second the motion, he seconds the motion.
Okay, we've got second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, it looks
Aye.
like.
Second motion.
Did he say no?
Mm,
Okay.
Aye.
All right, so the motion passes to recommend option 2, and that goes to council, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I said aye.
I still can't hear that. I'm totally lost, I'm sorry.
I don't know.
So on item B for new business is a review of our 2024 meeting calendar and see if anyone has any issues with this. Looks like we're staying on the fourth Monday and we have the holiday modifications like we generally do. Anybody have any questions, suggestions, revisions? Do I hear a motion if we have no discussion?
I'll make a motion to accept the calendar as it was presented.
And I'll second it.
Okay, second by Ms. White. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All those?
Aye.
no?
Aye.
Okay, I think that's an aye. Okay, so the motion passes. And does anyone have input on our January 22nd agenda that they want to let Antoine know about so we make sure we get it on the agenda? No?
No.
Do you have anything else for us?
No, ma'am. I hope you guys have a great holiday. Enjoy yourselves and your family.
Thank
And
you.
we'll see
You also,
see
Merry
you in
Christmas, and really to all of the staff of Parks and Recreation, they do a magnificent job for us, and we live in paradise, so it doesn't get any better. With that, our meeting is adjourned.